creation. What's next? Jordan? Creation.
Fall.
Then?
Redemption.
Then?
Restoration.
Not by creation.
No, restoration.
Restoration.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think.
Okay. So if you follow the book, we'll be around chapter 19 to 21 here. Okay. I know some of you have the book. So these 4 basic worldview questions. Jeffrey, what are they?
Basic questions of worldview.
4 basic questions of worldview.
I think
Oh, we just said it.
destiny,
Creation. What's next?
okay, creation,
What's next? Who can say it besides Jordan? Can someone? We just said it. Huh?
redemption,
Creation.
elevation,
No, 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 no. Look.
Something about philosophy.
Huh?
Perhaps. Something about philosophy, perhaps.
4. Creation. 4. What's next?
Creation.
4. Redemption. Restoration.
restoration.
Okay, Jeffrey. All right. Can you say all these 4 things? Creation.
Creation, fall, restoration.
Okay. All right. So we have said 4 here. Okay. Because this is very important. If we don't follow this, you go right away, you're going to jump into restoration. You're going to have a lot of different opinions. Your opinion, but we didn't know where they're from. Okay. Because if you don't follow this, it's hard to understand what's everything coming from. All right. So today last we talked about sin, but today we're going to talk about much detail. What is sin? What does the face of evil look like? Who know these 2 persons? Anybody? I guess they're still young. Older people know?
Are these the siblings that kill their parents?
More. Which parents? Which case? No. This is Columbine. Okay.
Oh.
The very first school shooting in 1999. They killed 13 and wounded 24. All right. They are high school senior. Okay. How about this guy?
Yeah, this I remember. I think it's University of Virginia, right? Something like that.
Virginia Tech.
Yes, yes. He's a Korean, right? So this is 2007. He killed 32, wounded 17. How about this one?
The Sandy Hook.
Yes.
Elementary school.
Yeah. Okay. So you see the face of evil, frighteningly ordinary, right? In 2012, December 14, he's killed 26, but 20 of them are children, right? From 6 to 7 years old. So what does it look like? What does the face of evil look like?
It looks like ordinary people that you might see every day.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like the kids next door. It looks like us, right? If you look at the kids house, how do you know? How do you know they're going to do such evil, right? They won't have a mark that I'm the evil, right? They're just like next door kids. So then what are the reasons for evil? What? Whenever the media or something, they'll say, oh, poverty, Is that the case? Or what other reason you think the people will commit crime or do evil things? What are the reason?
Depression.
Huh?
Depression.
Depression, mental issue.
Because they hate people.
Or they hate people. Okay. Or they have a bad childhood, right? Is that?
Or maybe they're abused. Oh wait, you already said that.
Also bad influences.
Okay. So, especially for the shooting, okay, I Google around this university that they'll find out that the top 4 reasons for school shooting is what you want to guess, particularly for those crime. You always say
Racism?
Why? Those cases they are white. They kill people not because of race issue.
Perhaps divorce then?
They divorce? You mean?
The parents.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, actually, yeah. You. But there's some. Okay, first one they said others pick it on men. All right, make fun of them and bully them. Number 2, so they won't take revenge. Right.
Yes.
Number 3, they don't value their own life. Actually, almost those they kill themselves after that. Okay, so when they do that, they are already prepared to end their own life. Number 4, they 11 talk about it. They have been a victim of physical abuse at home. As specific, yes, their families all broken down. All right, so especially the Sandy Hook one. Every time when I see this case, I try to look into that. All right, so that's find out when he was young, the family is okay. He did pretty well, but when the parent divorced, the father moved out, and he started going to so-called depression. Okay, and then in 2010, even his father stopped communicating with him, and that's why he really gone downhill. Okay, so what is the reason? What is that? Nobody, you look at all this report, all this, we never say this word, sin, right? They said the depression, they said the mental issue, right? But what caused the mental issue, okay? So it is sin that unleashed the capacity for raw evil. It is sin that blinds us to anything beyond our own selfish desires. Last we talked about it, they will always try to blame on people, right? We all play victim. So, Lucy, can you silence other people? Sin is choosing what we know is wrong. We have a choice, and when we sin, we choose to do evil. Yes, they got bullied, but many people got bullied, right? And many people have suffering, but does that mean that we would just has excuse? Okay, so because we live in a sinless society, we always thinking to blame on people or environment outside. And Chuck Colson used this example, right? So I hope this is to help us to see what caused that. And when we take sin out of the society from our daily vocabulary, we all suffer. Everybody suffer. You know, originally, this is an elementary school textbook, okay? Before 1790, this is our elementary textbook. Michael, can you read the first one?
In Adam's fall, we sinned all.
Ah, that's how they learn ABC. Okay. You want to continue?
Thy life to mend this book attend. Wait, how much do I continue?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So you see, that is the first A they learn. It's a sin, right? But of course, last week I asked Michael, right? You never heard about sin outside of the church, right? You go to elementary school, go to kindergarten. Have you learned anything in your textbook about sin? Probably it's not there, right? And that caused our society a big problem. Because what? Do you know? I don't know. The teacher grade you in the red pen now? Do they? Anybody?
I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I went to school.
Since you went to school, you have been in school for a long time.
Yeah.
Probably you don't see it often now, right? And I was told actually, did they correct your spelling?
No, I think they use the Scantrons.
All right. So the
The
point
bubble
here,
sheet.
the point here is that we seldom correct children. All right. You don't want them to feel bad. That's the idea of our society now. So self-esteem has become very more than the moral responsibility. I pick up this from Chuck Colson's book, okay? Guilt is something hazardous to mental well-being, an artificial constraint from which we need to be liberated. As a result, today's younger generation does not even understand the vocabulary of moral responsibility. Okay, all right. So the point here is that if you do wrong, that's your responsibility. You have a choice to do what's right, to do what's wrong. But now the society changed that you do something wrong, hey, that's not my fault. That's something caused me. Remember last week we talked about apharensia, okay? That is kind of extreme case, but it's a lot of things going on. We just don't realize, right? And actually that's from how we raise up our kids, okay? I know you are kids now, okay? But you are the product of all this, and we parents, we contribute to this. The author, Dr. Spock, he wrote this book, and he revolutionarily changed how American parenting their kids. Since 1946, it sold more than 500,000 copies. Oh, I don't know, 50,000, okay? And it got translated to more than 40 languages. And actually, it was top sale right next to Bible, all right? So he's the first one to change the idea from self-control to self-indulgence and to be a child-centered parenting, right? Think about that. Before, like my mom's generation, every family has 7 kids, 8 kids. They don't have time to care each one so much, but everyone still raised up well, right? But now you have a 1 or 2, but you got to take care so all in the center. So they call child center, and his book changed that. And that's why you see 2001, we have this paper child syndrome, right? You see, idea has consequence, all right? So it started trickle down this, then you see all these kids out of control. And you can say, oh, I have ADHD. Oh, I couldn't sit still. Oh, I have this problem. Because it never got trained, okay? All right? If you go to the army, will you say, I have ADHD? No, they train you well, then you'll be fine, okay? Especially this idea that adolescent or teenage rebellions is been dumping in our society, right? Have you heard about this? Anybody? Just wait until your children become adolescents, right? Have you heard about these things? Oh, when they become teenagers, they're going to rebel. Actually, you see from Dr. Spock, we already rebel when we're young, not just because suddenly we become teenagers, we rebel. And this from this guy, Stanley Hall. He is the first president of the American Psychological Association. Watch out, all these scholars, okay? Because what it developed their theory is not from Bible, it's from evolution. He wrote this book in 1904 called Adolescence. Actually, he also invented this term. Before, you don't have this term called adolescence. And in the book, he said the storm and stress. I'll show more, okay? So this book also revolution changed the mind of the teenagers. That's in his book. To Hall, the turmoil of the teen years was the inevitable consequence of recapitulations in reliving our evolutionary past. Said Hall, we must inevitably pass through a stage of great chaos of some ancient period of storm and stress when all moorings were broken and higher level attained. Okay, you see that? He plugged in the evolution theory into the child growth. So for you to grow up, become adult, is that like a barbarian become civilized person. So in the teenager year, it's normal and all to rebel because that's how you're evolving. Wow. And it looks very scientific because you look around, everybody rebel. Ah, that must be correct. But Bible said we rebel is what? Because we sin, right? And so you see this, again, you see the consequence. So this also said the death of the grown up. Turning 13 instead of bring children closer to an adult world, now launch them into a teen universe. Oh, Lucy, help me to look at the time. I forgot to start. Okay. So, you know, interestingly, originally the theory kind of, adolescent is from 12 to what year? To like 20, 22, but now because people like that, now extend to 30, 34, or even longer, forever young, all right? So that caused all these many public, like you or older one, they feel, oh, I'm older now, I'm a teenager, so I can rebel. But what Bible said? Bible said opposite. Bible, if you look at the Bible, you see the teenager, or not teenager, rebellious is okay, it's good, it's normal. Show it to me, okay? All right, I'll give you a big reward, all right? In opposite, they said, who's there? Who can read this for me? Any volunteer?
I could.
Okay, all right.
But understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty. For people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderless, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen, with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God.
Okay. Wow, you see that Bible especially warned us, right? So in the last days will become a difficulty, all right? Disobedient to their parents, lovers of self rather than lover of God. So we need to look at the Bible and see, hey, is this idea biblical? Does this idea fit God's teaching? You can hear so many so-called psychologists, so they even talk about this at the church. They say, oh, don't worry, that's normal for them because they are growing up. They want to be, all right? I don't mean that we don't rebel. I rebel, okay? Doesn't mean, when I was a teenager, I rebelled against my parents, some idea, but doesn't mean that's normal. That's the key here, okay? You see, our society try to normalize sin, normalize the problem, and so that's why you don't need Jesus. That's the whole problem, okay? You can say everybody sin, right? Everybody sin, but does that mean that it's okay? Does that mean it's normal? No. That proves we are sinners, that we all need salvation from Jesus Christ. So same thing here, all right? Okay, I'm not saying I'm better, oh, I never rebel, okay, no. We all rebel, okay? But the thing, problem is here is that our society try to listen like that, try to normalize that, okay? And then look at this, is shocking. This is shocking. If you read this, can someone read this for me? Jeffrey, can you read this? Deuteronomy. Jeffrey, you there?
If a man has a stubborn and rebellious son who will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and though they discipline him, will not listen to them, then his father and his mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the city at the gate of the place. And they shall say to the elders of the city,
What happened?
Son is stubborn and rebellious, who will not obey our voice, is a close drunkard. Now all the men of the city shall stone him to death with stones. So you shall purge the evil from your midst, and all of Israel shall hear and fear.
Wow. Okay. Do you see that? Do you see that? So if a rebellious son is not just a problem for the home, it's a problem for the whole community. And that's how God sees it so seriously. And you see our minds being polluted by the world so much, right? We just say, oh, it's okay, wait. Doesn't mean we're going to do this, don't do that, we'll die, okay? But just see how the different ideas. Okay, so Bible says we need to free our youthful passions and pursue the righteousness, faith, love, peace, along with those who call on the Lord from the pure heart. And that's what God commanded parents to discipline their children. All right. So you see the idea here that anybody, we'll talk about this actually today. So can someone help me? What is bar mitzvah, bar mitzvah?
Can I?
Sure.
It's a Jewish tradition where the child, it's like a coming of age ceremony or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For how old?
13.
For boy, girl, for how old?
12.
Yes, very good. Okay. Although this is not in the Bible, okay, bar mitzvah, but actually the fifth Bible's teachings. What does that mean? The bar mitzvah means you are the son of the commandments. Okay. When you're 13, that you can read Torah. That means you are held accountable now. All right. You are no longer a child. Okay. So you need to be held accountable by the law now. So it means you are adult. So turning 13 for boy is becoming adult. Instead of now we're turning 13, say, wow, I'm a teenager now. I can fool around. I can do all the things. You see, I remember when I was young. I don't know how Pastor Rachel is that's when Chinese New Year, we went back to my parents' home. No, my grandparents' home. Who get to eat first? Who get to eat? Who get to eat, Jeremy? You know, if you have adult male get to eat first, right? And then when I was a kid, the children and the woman and those mothers eat later. But when I become older now, I didn't get promoted to the teenager table. I got promoted to the adults table. Oh, I feel so proud. Now I can eat with uncle, and I can eat with my uncle, eat with my grandpa. You see that? Now the culture changed. Wow, teenager, go teenager table. But before, that's no teenager. Okay, teenager, this term actually, it's just happened in the first 100 years. Okay, this very new concept. All right. And this is a picture taken when I was in Israel 2 years ago, and that's a bar mitzvah. A bar mitzvah actually is a girl. They go into the west wall to pray. All right. So that's what Charles Colson said. Utopia framework has taken away the conceptual tool we need to grasp effectively with genuine evil. And when we cannot name or identify evil, we lose the capacity to deal with it. and ultimately we compound its deadly effects. You see that? When we lost ability to say, hey, that's not good, that's evil, and we compound it. And now we see, all right, now recently I see so many people host the workshop to talk about teenager issues. Why? Because teenagers are out of control. Oh, by the way, even the age, I'm so proud of you. Your mom showed me that you clean your mom's room and give your mom birthday. I'm so proud of you. Okay, that honor God. When you honor your parent, you honor your mother, they honor God. Okay, all right. So, yeah. Okay. And look at this. Do you know where is this? Where this thing?
It looks like a correction facility.
Oh, how do you know?
I don't know. It just looks like one.
Okay, yeah, that's in Norway, but it's that's a yeah. So that's considered jail. Okay,
Okay.
but do you want to go there? Looks that
Not bad.
not bad. It's pretty good, and especially they have female
That
officers
looks
to try to help you and have rock climbing, do all these things, you know. And what they say, okay, that's what Chuck Olson, he went to visit, okay, and you see, wow, so many psychiatrists in the facility. This is Norway, right? And this is especially locked down for those maximum, most crazy, most dangerous criminal. And this lady said, well, anyone who commits a violent crime is obviously mental imbalanced. See, that everything contributes is a mental problem. And yes, people are basically good. So anyone who would do something so terrible must be mental ill. And the solution is what? Therapy. You see, that's how our society deal with the problem. Therapy. We don't deal with sin. That's not a problem. It's therapy. And it's very sadly, the book said after he went, Chuck Colson, he went to the prison to share the gospel, and no response, because these people don't think they need gospel, because they are not sinner. So they don't need that. All they need is therapies. So you see, that's why our society, we don't need Jesus, because Jesus said only those who are sick need doctor. So if we don't know we are sick, then when we don't need gospel. So he said that nobody responds. And the worst case is that afterward, a lady, she works there to help out, and she said, "Oh, I'm so happy you came," because she's been praying for that. And so we really need gospel. And he's happy that some Christians they are working there. But a few days later, he heard the bad news. This girl accompanied a criminal to watch the movie. Okay, that's how therapy works. So she accompanied this guy to watch the movie. On the way back, she was killed and sexually insulted. So you see that problem of our society when you think you can just everything fixed by therapy, right? So when we embrace normal categories to explain away moral evil, we fail to take it seriously and we fail to constrain it. When we refuse to the true diagnosis of the sickness of the soul, we will not find a true remedy, and in the end, it will destroy us. And we see that now. Okay. Every time you see those school shooting people, they all have mental issues, so-called, and they all need to take medication. And actually, I read the one in the Virginia Tech is the medication out of control. You know that when you take those things, you're controlled by drug, and if you don't balance well or something, the drug going to overtake you, and that's the problem with society. We thought drug can fix everything. You couldn't sit still, I give you a pill. You couldn't sleep, I give you a pill. You couldn't get SAT well, I give you a pill, okay? That is the problem. All right, I guess this part I'm going to go quicker, okay? So, because we will, sin is any failure to conform to the moral law of God in act, attitude, and nature, right? So, sin is rejection of God's authority and denial of God's goodness and truth. Don't think the kids very cute when they rebel parents. The parents say, come to eat. And the kids said, no. Don't think that's cute, okay? That's showing this kid is sinner, all right? Sin is against God, okay? Not just against your parent, not just against other people, you alone, right? Because God said, honor your parent. God said, you need to do this, but when you disobey, you're against God. And that's why the Bible says, for all sin and fall short of the glory of what? God. All right. And the consequence is severe. It disrupts the relationship with God. Right? We all know that Adam Eve sinned, so he hid again away from God. And he started preying on women, preying on other people, women preying on the snake. And also the nature was a problem, right? The earth was cursed. And then death, sickness, suffering become part of the human experience. Right. So only sin can really reflect the reality of our society. And we all know the whole creation groaned because of the sin. Look, are you there? Who are there? I cannot see anybody. Jack, can you read this verse?
That the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to corruption and obtain the freedom of the glory of the children of God.
Okay. All right. So you got to realize sin is a bondage, okay? A bondage corrupt, but we need to get out of that. It is not merely a personal belief. It's the truth about reality. Okay, that's why I feel like Chuck Colson also helps me. That sometimes we say, oh, sin is only for believers. Okay, so for those who are interested in God, but no, that's for everybody, right? It's the truth about all reality. Christians must learn how to break out the box to penetrate environments hostile to our faith, make people see the dilemma they themselves face, and then show them why the Christian worldview is the only rational answer. Non-believer must be made to see that they are in an intolerable dilemma. You know, actually, that's how I became Christian. When I was young, I see why there's always problem. Why my parents always quarreling? Whenever my grandma come, we always have this, and they look at newspaper. And now when I go to church, I learn, it's because of sin. It makes sense, okay? They help me understand the reality. So if you keep on saying that no sin, but why there's so many problems, and you try to give me more drug, give me more stuff, and causing more problem, all right? When morality is reduced to personal reference and when no one can be held morally accountable, society quickly falls into disorder. And that this disorder actually is very dangerous. In Chuck Colson's book, that like Hitler, Mussolini, that Italy, that's the dictator. Why that's environment? Because they promise order. Okay, Mussolini just promised, I'm going to make the train on time, and we cannot. Nobody wants to live in the disorder, right? When social anarchy becomes widespread in any nation, its citizens become prime candidate for a totalitarian style leader to step in and offer to fix everything. So I hope you see that that's how our country is heading to. When the anarchy keep on spreading, it's in danger now, right? So you got to have a choice. You want to utopia view lead to tyranny, or you want to have a big view lead to an order and moral responsible society, right? Again, I tell you before, now our founder George once said, for our democracy to survive, need to have morality and religion. But now our society try to remove these two. Of course, you're going to have a chaos. You're going to lead to tyranny. Moral law are not stifling rules that repress and restrict our true nature. Rather, they are direction for becoming the kind of being God intended when He created us. Moral standards are life-giving, life-enhanced, life-enriching truth. So this is what we are facing. All right. When the society promote their children to rebel against God, parents, to against order, to against God's truth, we're going to pay the big consequence, right? And we also need to look at the God's 10 commandment is not just all negative. It gives us life-giving relationship. That's how we can live a better life. Recent graphs of human depravity drive us to God. All right. So hope this is kind of that only you realize what our real situation, then we can find a real savior. Otherwise, just all going to find the wrong way to fix.